Again, one more confident time.
This year's presidential election could see 71-year-old President Museveni serve a fifth term in office.
No leader has ever handed over power peacefully. This is a military regime dressed in a civil facade.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Hello everyone. Are you ready? Should it begin? Ladies and gentlemen, one of the most important issues that most of our people have failed to understand is to differentiate between facts from opinions. Endowooza yo n'obutuufu bw'ekintu byawukanirawa. And see, that is why I've been watching a conversation that has erupted all over social media. Kulw'okukwatibwa kwa Bizonto n'omukulu Gerald Chiwewa. When some of you are saying it's just politics and most people are saying it's just tribalism. Now, if we were to ask a question, do we really have tribalism in our country? Oba abantu bakirabanga tribalism? In my opinion, nga sinaba na kutuuka wala, I would like to tell each and everyone kana akaleero ne President Museveni wa kutula mu class asome. In my opinion, the mother of tribalism in Uganda is greed. If we were to define greed, kitegeeza the selfish desire for something, especially wealth, power, or food. Omulugube. And bwe tuba tusazeewo kukyogera oba kuddamu statement eyo oba ekigambo ekyo nga President Museveni akiddamu bw'ati.
Do you wake up sometimes and feel, you know what, this is too much for me. This is too much. You don't feel appreciated enough.
It doesn't matter because I'm working for myself. I'm not working for other people. I'm working for my grandchildren, for my children.
And so, from greed, ekitegeeza nti omuntu bw'aba azze nga azze kwezza bya bugagga bwansi n'abantu be n'abaana be, ekiba kiddako is kuleeta bantu ba famire yo ba mikwano gye ku protectinga by'ababbye na famire ye.
Their means and the Obotes and the Okellos, which are essentially the same army. According to their understanding, tribalism was a very big factor. Tribalism was a very big factor. They would not trust you unless you are from their tribe. So to them, loyalty was based on the tribe.
And that is where we go to the father of what you call tribalism is nepotism. Nepotism kitegeeza the practice among those with power or influence of favoring relatives or friends, especially by giving them jobs. Abantu bo ab'oku mwanjo, be it baganda bo, bakazini oba mikwano gyo, ng'obawa emirimu oba obuvunaanyizibwa obw'omugaso. Ekigambo, the key word is obw'omugaso. Ekyokulabirako, in dictatorship we have two types of leaders. Mulimu those who are in positions to make decisions, and those who are in positions to fill those positions. Abali mu bifo ebyo okukola decision n'abali mu bifo ebyo okubijjuzaawo just. An example, if I am to mention the Vice President of Uganda, our beloved Vice President, it is up to you to decide. Is he a decision maker or someone just filling that position? And if I am to mention a person like maybe Eli Tumwine, is he a decision maker or someone just filling a position? If I am to mention Sam Kutesa, is he a decision maker or muntu a filling a just position? And so, if we are to also borrow a leaf kumugenzi afande Chirumira, he said, bwalinga bakola training zino ez'amaanyi okuyingira mu magye wa poliisi bava bwe bamala ng'okunyuka oba okuva mu bifo ebizibu baatuukanga eno mu maaso balina abantu be bayongeranga mu obwongezi.
Obona bayingira mu poliisi olw'okubanga abantu bali mu gavumenti babakubira akasimu nga interview zituuse kubanga balina apahanga
batakoze bulungi ne bamwisa
tategedde okumala kukola bulungi so nga azino yasalawo balina location ze
bamubufunze tulina abapoliisi ab'ekibogwe
tulina abapoliisi abatayagala kuba abapoliisi naye nga babagamba muje
gwe mulimu oguliwo
bagala bakadets fuke jangu obeereko eno tujja kukikola tujja kukitereeza gwe tafaayo
ojja kuyigira ku mulimu
ojja kujja bagenda kwa training yennyini naye nga sikyali mu ye newe omulaba ng'akola obusirikale taba na passion kubanga sitekyali mu ye yagamba jadi njiragenda mu insurance
bankaka
anyway kanzi kyembeereyo era abaana besitayire eyo babayita government sponsored mu training school babayita government sponsored babayita gikoi government company bo bajja mu training ng'eri kumpi kuggwa bino ebisooka ebikumu tebabikola.
Sijja kugamba nti be basaabiiti oba n'abantu abalala ab'ekikula bwe kityo. No, I will not say that because saaliyo nga saabiiti a training, but I know it's on record. Omugenzi afande Chirumira yagamba there are those people that they bring nga bo tebagenda kuyita mu buzibu bwonna. Ekitegeeza nti abo baleeta to only protect the interests of a dictator n'ebyobugagga n'abantu be. Kyova olaba nze tekinneewunyisa nga Sam Kutesa aleese omwana we nga Jim Muhwezi ali mu kuleeta wa famire ye nga baani bonna batandise kuleeta tekinneewunyisa because their interest is in protecting their interests ze baali batutte. Okitegeera? And so, slowly by slowly, ekyo ne kizaalawo tribalism. That is why ne mu comedy ne kijja.
Natamba, what do you do for a living?
I'm a mnyankoni.
Abantu ne batandika okubeera nga babiraba nti mulimu gurupu ezimu ez'abantu ezitaweebwa mirimu on merit but on credit. Tekitegeeza nti buli ava mu west bwabeera no, but there is a certain group among those abava maybe mu kitundu ekyo nga bo akasengejja tebakayitamu nnyo. Kyova olaba ne mu comedy omwana bamubuuza what do you do, naddamu tekitegeeza nti abanyankole bonna we bali. Wabula bano abaana ba comedian baba bakuweereza message nti waliwo ekigenda maaso mu nsi kimba muyina okutunuulira kimubuusizza amaaso. Okitegeera? And so bwe tudda ku tribalism kitegeeza the state and attitudes that stem from strong loyalty to one's own tribe. Olw'okuba nti bano baba n'omulugube baleetera okuleetera nepotism okulonda abantu baabwe, kati balonda abantu baabwe nga ba mu kitundu kimu kyokka lemise from the west kireetera bo bano okufevalinga ekitundu ekyo kubanga gye baba bavaawe wali basengaawe wali baki. Ekyokulabirako just look at the lockdown nti e Kampala baali bakubagana kibooka ejjinja bali mu kufa mu bitundu ebirala. But embalala nga teri yadde kibooko ng'ekibuga kiri mu kutambula bukwajju.
amazima gali nti ebintu bibiri bye nazuddeyo ekisooka nti kafyu ne lockdown abeeno tebagimanyi stage za boda boda ogenda kulaba we mabega singa genda kubanga atulika boda boda zitika abantu nga bwe zaagala sawa 11 ebyo byo tebiriyo nti boda boda zirina okulekerawo okukola ebbaala tezisirika supermarket zikola kumpi paka saa nga 5 ekibuga tekiggalawo goge mazima kibeera kigule biri tebiriyo kakati mwabaddeyo ne mukubaganira Kampala nti akete bazigula n'ebiringa ebyo ate mu regions ezimu eno gye tutalaga mukimanye nti yo tebaggalirawo ddala bo bakola kinawadda
kati mvuga special naye tweyanzege
ekirungi ogambye wabadde naffe ekiro abatulaba twabadde ne chairman wa district naye neyeewuunya kiyalabye ekiro kyeyewuunyiza kubanga wabaddewo ng'obiraba
nabaddewo kubanga eno kafi abantu tebagitya n'abantu sawa 5 sawa 4 sawa 3 batambulira ddala mu tawuni kubanga nange nabaddewo ne chairman LC5 naye yakirabye ababuuda batikira ddala abantu taxi zikora basi zikora gamba bibigere bono obasanga mu tawuni batambula sawa 4 stage za border weziri
that does not mean buli ali embalala afunamu no but specifically the figures ezo zolaba eziri waggulu bebaba bakola ki bafunamu. So that is why people are thinking nti waliyo tribalism is because favoritism eyitiridde nnyo ng'eviira ddala eno ku mulugube gwe gwabizaaza era n'example ezo zonna zembawadde muziraba weewaawo tuzaddeyo ate nga tukyazaalayo tuwasizaayo tujja kuzaalayo ate era nga tetuna kyakukola. The only way to change this is to change leadership, which means ne tuteekawo ne system ejja okufevaringa areas zonna. Si muntu kufevaringa gyava lwakubanga gyava, si muntu kuwa ssente nnyingi gyava lwakuba gyava, wabula nti ziba zisaanidde okuweebwayo. My name is Fahad Ameyo Nsobuga. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Corruption, greed, nepotism are things that is even are making Ugandans more disgusted in the leadership of our party in government. I'm speaking to you this because I know you are my shield, and I have to be honest. My judge told me to be very honest. I've told this to the president. I am not scared of calling a spade before anybody. If we don't restrain, if we don't control our greed on how we use public resource, how we steal with impunity, then Ugandans will push us out of power, and that will also be another transition. The hills of Kampala are expanding with the buildings, but schools, health centers are shrinking. So where do people get this money from? And who are the owners of these structures we see around? Commissioners, directors, ministers, permanent secretaries. So people get disgusted.
Their means and the Obotes and the Okelos, which are essentially the same army. According to their understanding, tribalism was a very big factor. Tribalism was a very big factor. They would not trust you unless you are from their tribe. So to them, loyalty was based on the tribe. And army was supposed to be a brotherhood somehow, a sense of brotherhood, of Undugu. Now, because of that position of theirs, It has led the army to disaster. We, on the other hand, right from the beginning, our line was, a good soldier is a good soldier, regardless of what he's trying. And that's why you used to hear people like Obote always preoccupied with the tribal issues. For instance, Obote was always on the radio. Oh, Museveni is a Mnyarwanda. Museveni is a Mnyarwanda. Museveni is a Mnyarwanda. Museveni is a Mnyarwanda. But suppose I was, what would be wrong with that?
Waganda wote wauliza vijana wote walienda wapi? Tubongeza nini? Vijana walihamia msituni. Walienda huko msituni kupigania demokrasia.
By returning officers bono rwalero ekyali mu kinana Alebato Amalta district ye Kyoga County Mulango olwalero returning officer ye Twina Masco William
Mulango
ati ye Mulango uyo Twina Masco katoyo ye MP akutege
elango Twina Masco yaliyo Arua district inteziyere medad Bujiri district Chichoncho Gaude Bugwere nuwagaba penena Buhweju ainebyona Alex Buyikwe tusingwire Ana Maria Bukomansi Mbichizindo Ibrahim Salim assistant we Asimwe Nicholas Bukwa tumwijwe Joseph Burisa ni wasi Marine Bundi bujyo kunuhira Robert Bunyangabu Twinomjuno Evaristi Bushenyi Mbabazi Godfrey assistant Komjere Kobeti Butareja Birungi Sara Kezia Butambara Choga Birwe Mugabe Pisi Butebo Byencha Stera Gomba Mujenyi Jowero Guru Agaba Ronald Iba Ihoima Masco Dagaras Ibanda Kamsime Dani Ruhemba Yiganga Atahu Mase Jinja Site Chotunji Jenufwa Kabarore Nayebare Danieli Kariro District Asimu Esther Kampara Central Division Dorin Musime Kawempe Division Mugabe Robert Machinde Munanura Ivan Mukuba byaje abo bosoma baki
kakati olwalero ekyalo 19 ekikaya nyabantu
bebakulira
ebyokulonda bonna bakukyalo
mu Uganda yonna
kakati olwalero ogenda Kasanda Kayunga Kibale Kiboga Kikube Kiruhura Kiryandongo Kisoro Kyenjojo Kyotera Ruwero Rwengo Ryantonde Masaka Site Mbarara Site Mbarara district
omanyi
kakati bino byonna
mukuba byasi omanyi bebayita bizonto bamanyi nange nalinga sibafaako ebyo byoyogera byebyabakwasa
bantu uliriza no government gazette namba na 5 ya 3 July 2012
Anyway, Uganda land of abundance, but Ugandans living in deficiency. Museveni wants life presidency, we must abandon that silly tendency. Uganda rich, but Ugandans poor, because the leader is drunk on power. He runs nation like family affair. The citizens suffer, but he don't care. Let's sing United Forces of Change.
Omushana kyayogedde nti Dr. Wesige azanya tribal card alese Lukwago. First of all, ne oba Bobi Wine oba omuntu omulala yenna abantu b'ebitundu ebirala mu Uganda buli omuganda lwayagala okukola ekintu kifuuka tribal. Abanyankole bakola amagye ne bagenda mu nsiko okulwana ne bw'osoma UPDF Act n'otunuulira abali ku historical high command tekuliko muganda n'omu. Bwe twababuuza nze nawaabako omusango mu East African Court nga mpaabira amagye ga Uganda okubeera nga bameja jene ebiseera byonna baali bava mu ggwanga limu nengenda mu East African Court ne bagamba nti kino kiri historical. Buli muganda kyakola twali ne bannamboozi nga tuyingira ebyobufuzi ne tugamba tukoze Suubi 2011 mutwagala okukolera ebyobufuzi ne batugamba
kamalirize ngera kujja
No, it is easier. It is easier. Taliko. Schedule number 3 mu UPDF Act. Mbakusomere. Number M Yoweri Museveni. Number 2 Salim Saleh. Number 3 David Nyefunza. Number 4 Eri Tumwine. Number 5 Elia Kategaya. Number 6 Rwejema. Number 7 Tadeo Kanyankole. Oyo ali mu council gy'omusanga wansi wali ba muntu. Ekikulu kakozebwa ebintu obyerabira. Council weri erimu ba kashiringi, erimu ba mande, erimu basirwanga rwanga. Nkugamba historical high command. Namanya nga kubulidde. Naye kati golabika ebikunyumira kweti council. The point is abalabole bazanya tribal card. Butwaga ntuvuddeyo tuli bankoba za mbugo. Nze nali Makerere ono yali guild president. Buli district na buli tribe. Mu parliament ey'omukaaga President Museveni yes kugaye buli district na buli tribe. President Museveni nasinkana ankole parliamentary caucus. Honorable Zinana yagikulembera. Niwagende lwakitula niboogera kukuuma obuyinza mwe yagambira ebigambo bino siribyerabira. Yagamba nti butulonda space yoza wandira kazibu agamba Banyankole. Mulowooza yabeera vice president. But the women, the Basoga, the Catholics, Kazora, John, Bashaija. So makatabo ke ayimuka amuganti, is that how you want me to refer to your vice president? Nanga na bayise basomesa byabufuzi. So you think JJ is army commander? But he is sort like panafanari ya omuwajipu ne babuuka ne bagaba bali mu buyinza. Alina Banyankole abasomesa buyinza. Bote bali siba tribalist abaganda be bali. So therefore ekintu ekyo kiruma nnyo. Bobi Wine is a tribal candidate. What about Museveni? Yechi atali ye tribal candidate. Lukwago bwayingira Sylvia Namabidde yali chairperson wa committee education in parliament. Naleeta report nga President Museveni ayina essomero Kanyaryeru erya primary. Buli mwana asomera mba musasuli emitwalo 7 ettaamu. Aba UP buli omu bamusasuli ya kasanvu buli mwaka. Biri waabwe kati yoyo si tribalism. Bobi Wine wabayagalwa president tribal card. Lukwago bagenda mu FDC tribal card. Ekintu ekyo it's very bad. Ekyota ngango abantu nga muli musosola mawanga nefu nimutani kukutulumirizanga kye tutakola. Lwomushana kiruma nnyo. Nti Lukwago bamulese.
For clarity kati wategezezza. Ngamba ku kyo kyobadoga nti kyabadde akunnyonnyola.
For clarity
Andrew, abadde ayogera noyingira muga linda kamalirize.
Yes, you see, waliwo mukyala Nambooze kyakugambye. Bayina gang of 7. Tuyina ebyaffe naye sijja kubyogera wano. Please. Tuleme kasikiragana ebigambo. Kati because abadde ayogera ku abaleta conspiracy theories. So wacha abadde ayogera. Kati bogan tuyina ebyaffe naye sijja kubyogera wano. Kati nze mbireeta.
All right. Now, you know, we are dealing with a regime of lies. Okay? Tricks. Every time Museveni wants your votes, he lies to you. Okay? He sends another, he pulls another rabbit from a hat. It's like a magician. Okay? We are dealing with the tricks here. Every time they trick you, you vote. They trick you again, you vote. 5 years, nothing. Museveni said he came to power, he fought because he wanted to remove nepotism from government. He claimed the government which was in power, it was hiring relatives of the different officials. Look, let's see how Museveni has lied to us, has tricked us to the extent that he's always hiring his own tribesmen or his own relatives in top government offices where they are receiving full pay from the government. Okay, look at nepotism in the State House. Okay, you are going to see that the State House is full of the president's relatives only. They are holding top offices in the State House, and every now and then you hear that the state budget has expanded. That means one relative has reached an age of recruitment. Okay, every time one reaches an age of 18 years, another office is created. 18 years, another office is created. That's why you hear state budget has increased. State budget has increased. They have produced other children. Okay, for instance, we have a president up there. Then you have a wife. He has a salary for being the member of parliament for Ruhama County. He has a salary for being the minister of Karamoja. You see, those are two salaries. Leave alone his other any girls like Wesa. Okay, so that's a wife. Then you have the firstborn, the son, is the commander of the special forces. That's another top government officers in charge of Presidential Guard Brigade. Is the son. Then you have the daughter, okay, of Museveni, private secretary on the presidency in charge of households. You see, that's another funny office where is entitled to a given salary. Okay, how much nobody knows, but a lot of money. Then you have the father-in-law, okay, the one who gave birth, the wife of the son, is also a minister of foreign affairs. You see, then you have Joseph Ekwao, the nephew to Museveni, okay, is the son of a young sister. As long as you're a relative, you have a causative, you are related anyhow, however distant your relationship is, you are entitled to a government office with a full salary. Okay? Then we have Miriam Karugawa, sister of Echeo, okay, sister of Museveni, administrator at the State House. You see, Jimmy Karugawa, the wife of Karugawa, okay, officer in charge of accounting around department at the State House, okay, Sabuni, you see, Museveni's sister-in-law, executive director of Cotton Development Authority. As long as you have any bad line to the president, you are given a full government office, full salary, okay. This is open borderline nepotism. Whoever does not understand nepotism, nepotism means hiring relatives into government offices. Okay, so nobody should lie to us that they are not using their relatives. All these different individuals, plus others whom I have enlisted, they are related to Museveni. Okay, this is borderline nepotism. Museveni is very nepotic, very nepotic. Okay, so you cannot lie to us that it's not nepotic. Check for yourself. Vote wisely because you are fighting a very deadly regime.
The Makerere University Academic Staff Association has accused the University Vice-Chancellor Professor Barnabas Nawangwe of mishandling the management of university land, promoting nepotism in recruitment, and showing a lack of respect for the Moasa Tribunal.
The appointments relating to some members of staff allowing their sons and daughters to enter the employment system without following proper procedures. These were raised by staff. I also raised issues to do with land some time back, and the fact that management had not done enough in the past to protect our land jealously as is required.
According to the chairperson of Moasa, Dr. Deos Muhwezi, Professor Nawangwe has also intimidated those members of staff who have criticized his management style.
And the Vice-Chancellor can brief us that I have since done the following. Instead of writing, I will kill you, I will send it to appointments board, you know, I will deal with you. No.
However, Professor Nawangwe has dismissed the claims by Dr. Muhwezi and other Moasa members. NTV contacted Professor Barnabas Nawangwe, who was not in the country, but he responded by saying his office had not threatened anybody and he was only concerned about the unprofessional method through which Dr. Muhwezi and others were making accusations against him and other members of the university administration. In a June 12th letter, Dr. Muhwezi was summoned to appear before the university's appointments board to respond to his accusations against the Vice-Chancellor. However, The Moasa chairperson says the summons to appear before the appointments board are meant to intimidate him. Andra Nitwe, NTV, Kampala.
Tubasaba okwongera amaanyi okukuutira abantu baffe okulwanyisa ebikolwa byonna eby'obuli bw'enguzi obw'engeri yonna obuziŋŋamizza obuweereza obw'enjawulo okutuuka ku bantu baffe. Newankubadde abantu bangi batulowoozesa nti enguzi eri ku kuwuttanya nsimbi za muwi wa musolo. Kino si kituufu. Waliwo n'ebintu ebirala bingi ebigendererwa okulaba nti omuntu asukkuluma ku munne. Engeri abantu gye baweebwamu emirimu nayo yeeraliikiriza okulaba nga abalina ebisaanyizo basigalira oluusi ne giweebwa abalina ebitawera oba abatalina ddala.
Is healthy.
For 2 days now, religious leaders, politicians and other members of society have been evaluating the progress of the proposed national dialogue which they plan to launch countrywide. Their mission is to draw lessons from the processes of negotiation and dialogue and build on the progress made so far for a more stable and more peaceful future for the country.
We need to look at these issues critically so that we have lessons. Because ideally, each people are praising us for this unitary system. We have a chance to reshape the future.
The Deputy Secretary General of the NRM, Richard Todwong, has urged for the process not to be politicized, saying the processes always leaned towards transition of power.
But we know Museveni has been a very key player in the region, and as we manage that process, there are people who see him as God to them, and they are very interested in what takes place in Uganda. The other thing is we need to manage greed. During the debate of a transition, those who are in position of leadership might want to collect as much as possible because they don't see them coming back in the next government. We have seen this. So that kind of greed, that kind of insensitivity to national issues makes people become disgusted with those in government especially.
Todwong expressed discomfort about how some government officials get away with crimes like corruption and embezzlement of resources, adding that these are some of the reasons that will make the NRM party fall out of favor.
Corruption, greed, nepotism are things that is even are making Ugandans more disgusted in the leadership of our party in government. I'm speaking to you this because I know you are my shield. And I have to be honest. My church told me to be very honest. I've told this to the president. I am not scared of calling a spade before anybody. If we don't restrain, if we don't control our greed on how we use public resource, how we steal with impunity, then Ugandans will push us out of power, and that will also be another transition. The hills of Kampala are expanding with the buildings, but schools, health centers are shrinking. So where do people get this money from? And who are the owners of these structures we see around? commissioners, directors, ministers, permanent secretaries. So people get disgusted.
Former president of the Forum for Democratic Change, Major General Mugisha Muntu, wants the dialogue to focus on finding solutions to a possible crisis.
What holds a country together is the common aspirations and the hopes within a population. But there must be leaders who must start building credibility in terms of trust in our population, and also would have to speak and act in concert in the event of such a scenario. Because what holds people together is hope.
Uganda's 56 years of independence can be best described as a record of progress, missed opportunities and unfulfilled promises. However, the country has made progress in many different human endeavors. One of the biggest challenges is that it is still held back by a history of turbulence and a fear of the future, which the Interreligious Council is working to clear. Walter Mwesije, NTV, here in Entebbe.
A forum of parliaments from the member states of the Great Lakes region under its Committee on Democracy and Good Governance received a report from a consultant who highlighted that the region still has an uphill task of dealing with nepotism as one of its biggest challenges in the political arena.
I don't want to go deep into that, but you may have heard a leader of a certain nation electing someone from his tribe, or electing someone from his family, and that is not something that should go without being spoken about, because that builds hatred toward the system. Young people of our nations hate the government. They don't love you. They don't like you. To tell the truth, most of you may be good, but some of you are not loved by the people.
Let's be honest, facts to be told. There is no way you are not going to favor your, is it friends, your associates, your beloved ones who have been living with nepotism for such a long time. How do we move away from this?
Parliaments in the regions, what they need to do is to make sure that they put in place laws that empower institutions to work and make them strong. And once those laws have been put in place by the parliaments within the regions, it is also important that those laws that have been put in place are implemented.
Here in Dar es Salaam, as we heard yesterday from that elder, how they changed the mindset of their people. It was the talk of leadership to influence their people that let us not think as tribes, let us think as one people.
Apart from the Democratic Republic of Congo, Angola, and also Kenya, other states within the Great Lakes region, the president is always the one who appoints the head of the Electoral Commission, something the consultant said must be dealt with because it undermines the integrity of the results of any given election.
If the National Electoral Commission is a political arm of the ruling party, we should always expect disputes and violent conflicts, non-neutrality, and threats to fairness of the whole process.
Today, even our own electorate, they feel that politicians are not straight. So long as it's your party that has stolen, they've won, you're quiet. But you're forgetting that it's a double-sided sword. It cuts both sides. In the next election, it will be a vote to be probably stolen.
Some of the politicians, especially within the Great Lakes region, have hidden in the sense that they are always still loved by the electorate and thus they prolong their stay in power and sometimes amending the constitution. And that is one of the issues that the consultant told the member states, especially the parliamentarians, to ensure they look into this issue and deal with it because it is a time bomb.
Transition of power is not easy. We have presidents who serve for very, very long time and they don't want to come out of the power. And this ferments hatred. This kills the nation. Even in your own constituency, do you prepare young people for leadership position, do you prepare someone to take over when you think that it's enough that somebody should take ahead of you? All we want is only me and me alone.
The Great Lakes region is teeming with a population of the youth being the majority. However, they take the less of the share, especially when it comes to the political cake. And thus, it's one of the other areas that the parliamentarians from the Great Lakes region have been advised to ensure that they stop the business of commercialization of politics, which normally locks out the youths who do not have jobs, are unemployed, and they don't even have money to compete favorably with the political class.
The young people, why don't they come to vote? Because they don't see the reason to. They don't see why they should, because even if they vote, nothing happens. They won't get anything from the system, so they don't come to vote unless something happens. And those who vote, they have one thing in mind: regime change.
To make the youth participate in politics, one, we should also have put in place regulations and laws that will definitely limit the use of money, and also laws and regulations that are friendly to the youth that will empower them to participate in elections. For instance, we normally have the issue of the nomination costs. If the nominations, for instance, are so high, it limits many youth from even getting nominated.
As the way forward, the member states of the Great Lakes region have been advised to ensure that every legislator, whoever it is, in the political arena should be the change they want to see within their countries, ensure that there is a credible electoral commission, and also ensure that they fight corruption and nepotism, among other vices that continue to destabilize the region. Sudhir Yaruhanga, NTV.
So how did you get savers' money and invest it in a loss-making company?
In 2010, the National Social Security Fund Management gave an 11 billion shillings loan to Uganda Clays Limited, disbursed at a 15% interest rate.
The time management of Uganda Clays sought to set up a new factory in Mbale. Good idea, but badly executed. So the money they borrowed from us was not sufficient to put the factory that they had wanted to set up in the right place.
Over 10 years down the road, not a single shilling has been paid back to the fund.
In 2015, they were supposed to have commenced payment, and the interest and penalty had accrued up to that amount of 20 billion.
The members of parliament were concerned that the company had for 3 consecutive years been making losses, a trend that continued even after the provision of the loan.
Was this loan written off, yes or no?
It was fully provided for. It hasn't been written off.
It hasn't been written off.
No. As I speak today, the company has turned around, the company has become profitable, and the company has reinstituted the loan on its books, and the company now is in a position to begin paying the loan.
National Social Security Fund holds 32% shares in Uganda Clays Limited. The management of the fund was also pushed to admit that the savers are at the risk of losing out on 4 plots of land in Temangalo Wakiso district, which remain in the names of the original owner.
Assuming Nze is not around,
yes,
and the kids are there collecting their properties,
yes,
are those properties yours or Nze's?
Well, they are not yours.
Thank you.
They too acknowledge that they made the wrong decision in purchasing cards worth 2.6 billion shillings that were never found fit for the country's environment. The cards were for the single purpose of allowing savers to check what they had on their NSSF account.
Do you have an example, and do you have a performance, analysis of the cards? Is that system still there?
The card was simply a mistake. Probably it is something that we should never have done. Okay, so even at the time the idea of the card was conceived, it was not possible that any member of the fund would walk to an ATM of a bank to check their balance.
On the matter of 1 billion shillings, which a member of the NSSF board, Dr. Samuel Moki, is said to have asked for unknown activities, Patrick Ayota told the committee that it was rejected. However, Ayota said that they previously had an agreement with both the National Organization of Trade Unions NOTU and the Central Organization of Free Trade Unions COFTU, which had an estimated 800 million shillings disbursed to them.
The fund received the letter from COFTU, and as is the practice, a request for funding made to the fund does not mean that the funds are released. The fund did not act on the letter, and no monies were dispersed to COFTU.
Last week, both Byarugaba and the Treasurer General of COFTU, Joseph Mbabazi, told the committee that the two trade unions received 100 million shillings from NSSF. The members argued that it was irregular for a board member to advance the request.
How is the fund? They're still holding out?
Jackson Onyango, NTV.
Asante sana.
Today, the Minister for Ethics and Integrity, Father Simon Lokodo, launched the 4th National Integrity Report, belatedly due to COVID-19. Asked which government institution is the most corrupt, sampled Ugandans from all districts in the country, put General Police in the first position with 70%, Traffic Police, which scored 67%, Police Directorate of Criminal Investigations, CID, 57%, Courts of Law and Land Tribunals, 53%, Land Officers, 53%, Public Health Facilities, 47%, District Service Commissions, 45%, and Agriculture Extension Services, or NADS, and Operation Wealth Creation at 43%. But asked who the people ran to report corruption and who they think was trying most to fight the vice, they said police.
Some of our investigators are not well experienced, so we need to do more of training on investigating these cases. Most of these cases need to get forensic analysis. We need forensic evidence. And sometimes to get that evidence, it may take some time.
In terms of regions, Central Region leads, followed by Eastern Uganda, Northern Uganda and Western Uganda trails. The researchers also found that for many Ugandans, paying a bribe has become an easy path to getting services across the country. The people had homogeneously generated vocabulary to use to ask or give a bribe, statements hard to decipher even if publicly heard.
Ngambaje, which means speak what? Well. Speak well. So among all those terms are being used in Uganda to disguise corruption.
The population felt bribery, solicitation and nepotism were the commonest forms of corruption and late coming in offices the biggest cause of maladministration. But anti-corruption agencies and partners feel embezzlement fuels the rest. The Deputy DPP says they have difficulty recovering assets acquired through corrupt means as they have to wait for conviction, which takes long.
Instead of trying to investigate what, you sue that building. You say, you building, you are standing here. You are the proceeds of corruption. Let somebody who thinks otherwise come and prove us wrong. So once you do this, those with an interest in that building must come and declare that this is my building, this is how I got the money. And I'm telling you, this has been used in some countries in Southern Africa.
I think for me it is very important that we adopt the non-based conviction asset recovery. I think it will go a long way in ensuring that most of the monies or buildings or properties that people have acquired through corruption are actually gotten back. But the challenge that we have in our country is impunity, the people who are going to be above the law.
Uganda still ranks high among the most corrupt countries in the world, and the trend is not good. The Ethics and Integrity Minister thinks it's time to get back to basics, sensitizing the country, especially young people, about the vice.
Someone eats the money of the whole road. The whole road. Katosi Road, where is it? Then you are building Kampala called Katosi Road. To have this curriculum in schools, so that children grow up knowing what is evil.
Many like him are disturbed, indicating a lot needs to be done, and that a lot might include a prayer too.
May you, Lord, speak to the president to appoint the right leaders.
Edward Mhumza, NTV.
Amen.
Earlier this month, the MP for Aru County, Odongoto, blew the whistle in Parliament, alleging that workers' savings at the National Social Security Fund were being mismanaged. Against this background, the Speaker of Parliament, Rebecca Kadaga, instituted a House Select Committee, which her Deputy Jacob Olanya communicated this evening.
Allegations of irregularity in the disposal of NSSF assets.
The Select Committee that will be chaired by Kalungu East MP Vincent Sempija consists of Fort Portal Municipality MP Alex Ruhunda, Joseph Seungu of Kalungu West, Chankwan's District Woman MP Anne Maria Nankabirwa, and workers' representative Teopista Sentongo.
When you talk about nepotism, irregular appointment of workers there, bringing in your family people to become workers in NSSF, mismanagement of funds, the Umeme issue, we shall get all the information. And I think it's not only about NSSF, we shall get Umeme.
The NSSF Acting Managing Director, Geraldine Salibusura, has issued a statement welcoming the investigations, but stated that all issues under investigation were done in conformity with relevant policies for the interest of the fund. Besides mismanagement of workers had earned money, the 5-member committee shall also look into the alleged nepotism, unfair recruitment of staff, illegal disposal of NSSF assets, the purchase of shares in Umeme without the approval, and other issues that members of the select committee would deem important. Members of parliament representing workers have welcomed this move.
How do they buy shares without the proper approvals? And when I was seeing in the press, that the processes are not important, that's madness, sheer madness. You cannot miss processes of approvals to do anything in NSSF.
The committee has been mandated to present its findings on the 19th of August this year. Agnes Nandutu, NTV, Parliament.
According to the newspaper advertisement for the recruitment of the Chief Executive Officer of Uganda Airlines, for one to qualify, they must have an honours degree in any field, postgraduate training in administration or any other business-related course, 10+ years of aviation experience at senior management level, executive committee, experience in marketing and commercial aspects of the airline's business, including knowledge of airline commercial systems, previous or current experience as a CEO of a successful commercial airline, and experience in airline financial management fundamentals. However, the academic documents presented by the current CEO of the airline, Jennifer Bamuturachi, at the time of appointment, show that she only possesses a degree in social work and social administration without any postgraduate training. Bamuturachi told members of Parliament's Committee on Commissions, Statutory Authorities and State Enterprises that her appointment in July was based on her over 15 years' experience in the aviation industry, in which she has served as the country manager for the East African Airlines and commercial consultant for the defunct Air Uganda.
At the time of the CEO's appointment, she did not have the required academic qualification because it had to be a degree and a postgraduate diploma.
For you to be a CEO of Uganda Airlines, what are the minimum standards required?
It does not matter whether I went to the moon or whether I did MDD. What matters is, do I have the skill? And I do. I can't blame myself for being appointed. That is something that will have to be requested from the board and whoever they were following.
When probed further, the acting human resources manager and members of the top management said that any discrepancies in her appointment should be answered by the airline's board.
Yesterday, Chair, this team told us they benchmarked a lot. They went benchmarking, and I want to know from their benchmarking, did they find that other CEOs managing the airline only hold 1 degree of SWASWA?
The mandate is not with management to decide, it's the board.
So in my opinion, it is unfair to subject what is going on to the management itself.
And I was looking at the wages that were circulated yesterday. Truly false. That's not what we earn. Those are the wages in the business implementation plan that was approved by Cabinet in 2016, December 20th.
The committee is probing queries raised by the Auditor General on operations of the airline for the financial year ended June 2021.
I have what it takes to run this airline, and nobody can take that away from me. It is my gift. I can do it, and I'll do it. Not alone, by the way, because I work with a team. And that team in there, combined, we have close to 100 years of experience together. and all of us together have what it takes to run this airline. That's why it hasn't dropped out of the sky.
Uganda bali mu kugamba Black Lives Matter. It beats my understanding. Okusosola mu mawanga okuli mu Uganda temulina na moral authority okwogera ku racism mu America. Yes, mbumira racism mu mbeera yonna. Naye okusosola okuli mu mawanga mu Uganda wano osanga eggwanga gundi nga terikiriza ggwanga gundi kuliwasaamu. Wano osanga ab'eddiini gundi nga tebakkiriza ddiini bweti bawasaamu. Kati bw'oba opromotinga okusosola mu mawanga mu Uganda eby'omu America mubireke. Wano tulina gavumenti ekyasinze okupromotinga nepotism and tribalism. Bw'otulina ebitongole KCCA, UNRA, Uganda Police, UPDF, Special Forces, oyinza okugamba nti ggwanga limu lyelina right okukolamu. Bw'ogenda mu parliament otulina mu parliament ggwanga limu lyeririyo. Mwerabire bano ababaka abalondebwa obulondebwa neŋŋamba technical staff. Muntu omu y'abalonda. So, bannayuganda mugetinge serious. Bw'oba ovumirira racism mu America ne mu Uganda vumirira tribalism. It's unbelievable. N'oba n'omuntu gw'owulira nti omwagala nnyo famire ye n'ekuga nti okuggyako ng'okyusa tujja mu ddiini yaffe. Okitegeera. N'owulira omuntu nga mukolagana nnyo ne baga nti okuggyako nga waggwanga lyaffe. It's unbelievable. So, mwabagamba Black Lives Matter, yes, zimatalinga. Nyena mu stopping tribalism mu Uganda. Ate mwe bannayuganda bali mu America. Bannayuganda bali e London. Mbegayiridde kino ekya Black Lives Matter bwe kiggwa mu kikomyewo e Uganda. Mumwe n'abali e London abali mu America mumanyi enfuna gye mufunamu empapula. Ekyo kijja kigendako mu maaso. Muyiya buli sitole n'ofuna obutuuze mu America. Bw'omala ofuna obutuuze mu America naye bagashumba abanyarwanda bazaaliddwa mu Uganda mugamba si bannayuganda. Nze jjajja wange yajja mu Uganda 1922 yaziikibwa Masaka. Tatange twamuziika Masaka nange bazaaliddwa mu Uganda.
Mulikola mukyagalo ekyange bano abaana bageto bonanga bakaye omuntu wafamire y'omukyalo gumwe tegumulisa kumala wiiki kumbona bagamba eno tayimugo egenda kubaluka temugamba tetwabagamba
oba mugamba racism mu America ne tribalism ekome mu Uganda. Abantu babawenga emirimu based on their academic qualifications. Lwaki abantu abamu be bafuna emirimu egimu emirimu gye tuyita emirimu emisava bo basoma ki ffe kye twagwa. Lwaki emirimu egimu giweebwa abantu bamu bitwala batudibeetinga
bwetuva mu masomero fiisi tusasula zimu. Yes, mu masomero fiisi tusasula zimu naye emirimu gibeera gy'abalondemu abavubuka kati betingi gwe mulimu ne bino bimanye obusosoze mu mawanga bwe bungi kate ffenna tumanyi tebiba birungi. Obusosoze wasuuse bw'oba wakana genda oyite ku poliisi tunulira buli DPC kati kyenjogerako wadde okyusi wabula ebintu bino byenyimbaka balala bibalumira muline bisigalayo.
Wano mu Uganda niyo osanga ebitongole ebimu nga byo it's a preserve for some ethnic background nga byo yokka yekolayo bitwale bali tutunulira okusosola mu mawanga. Kino ate kankibabuulire bw'oba ososola mu mawanga mu Uganda don't even comment ku racism mu America. Don't even comment on tribalism. Monsieur Nerimu. Mbawadde example esooka. Tutuzaaliddwa wano. Naye abantu mmwe abasinga temutwala nga bannayuganda. Bwe mbeerako kyempandiise nti gwe munyarwanda gwe ddayo e Rwanda. Kisangirizo. So tuvumira ne sekuvumira kwonna racism eri mu America. Era tuvumira ne sekuvumirira yenna tribalism eri mu Uganda. Ffenna tuli bannayuganda. Oba oli mutoolo, oba oli musoga, oba oli mukyoli, oba oli mulwala. Ffenna tulina passport eriko the Republic of Uganda. Watulina obwakabaka mu Buganda, tubulina ettoolo, tulina mu Busoga. Tewali kingdom mu Uganda erina passport yaayo. Ffenna tulina passport eriko the Republic of Uganda. So tuvumira ne sekuvumirira racism eri mu America, ne tuvumira ne sekuvumirira tribalism eri mu Uganda. Mwebale nnyo.
One drop. Ulira. Bwetuva mu masomero fiisi tusasula zimu. Yes, mu masomero fiisi tusasula zimu naye emirimu gibeera gy'abalondemu abavubuka kati betingi gwe mulimu ne bino bimanye obusosoze mu mawanga bwe bungi kate ffenna tumanyi tebiba birungi. ososoze wasuse bwoba wakana genda oyite ku polisi tunulira buli DPC kati kyenjogerako wadonjusi wabula ebintu bino byenyimba balala bibalumira muline bisigalayo ku mitima benjogera kabalala bibalumira muline bisigalayo ku mitima buli omu yandifunye equal opportunity no matter the tribe netumalawo fitina anti no time bomb egenda kubaluka ino time bomb naye egenda kubaluka. Blessed love. Yeah, man, we use music to communicate what exactly we feel.
Musabire eggwanga
temukomaawo
musabire n'abali kulembera
muba temubamanyi
katubabajjukize
mukimanyi muli waka
ate n'abaana bammwe
tebababuuza bino
nga nammwe temubimanyi
abaana mubagambe
nti mwami Yoweri Kaguta Museveni
ye pulezidenti waabwe
bamusabirenga
akwata obuyinza
mu 86
akatufugira 35
ate akyatwaza
kale bamusabire
kuba ye mukulembeze
abaana mubagambe
nti jeno eri tumwine
yakulira ebyokwerinda
ekyo kifo kya nkizo
n'olwekyo bamusabire
Katonda amuyambeko Saabazonto
abaana mubagambe
nti aduumira amagye
jeno muhoozi
tetugamba muhoozi oli
naye ate n'oli
naye mumusabire nnyo
kuba ye muwabuzi
wa pulezidenti asooka
kati bamuhoozi babiri
bombi mbasabirenga
twakamala bana
Yoweri Museveni
eri tumwine
ne bamuhoozi babiri
tusabira abantu
abali mu bifo ebitufuga
mutukwate bulungi
tusomesa abaana bammwe
kusabira bakulembeze
kale tugende mu maaso
mu polisi waliyo
afande waffe Otyola
mukakasa yaliyo
ffe gwe tumanyi
ate Sabiti muzeeyi
oba tukyogere tutya
nti Sabiti muzeeyi
asalawo kinene mu poliisi
kale tumugatte kubali
naye tumusabire
tugende mu makomera
eyo waliyo by'abasajja Saabazonto
mugambe abaana bammwe
nti mwami by'abasajja
yakulira amakomera
abo baweze 6
ab'okusabira
kuba be bali waggulu
abaana mubagambe
yakulira CMI
ye Abel Kandiho
naye nno wankizo
n'akulira SFC
ye James Birungi
tetubagambye birungi
tugambye birungi
abaana mubagambe
bakwate ebintu bino
twabakabawa bameka
bakyali 8
mwami Yoweri
Kaguta Museveni
eri tumwine
ne bamuhoozi ababiri
Sabiti muzeeyi
ne by'abasajja ne James Birungi
musomesa abaana
basabire abakulembeze
abaana mubagambe
ng'akulira iso
ye kaka bagenda
bamugatte ku bali Saabazonto
naye bamusabire
ali mu kifo kya nkizo
bamala okumutegeera
mubatwale mu Bank of Uganda
mubagambe agikulira
nti Emmanuel Tumutebire
mubagambe nti omumyuka we
yabadde mwami Kasekende
contract yaweddeko
teyaziddwa bujja
abaana mubagambe
ne Keizi Mwakanizi
ye permanent secretary
wa Ministry of Finance
ye mumusabire
ali mu kifo kya nkizo
twakabawa bameka
abo 11
abakutte eggwanga lino
abalina okusabirwa
abaana mubagambe
bategeere abakulu
yakulira ebyokulonda
ye Simon Byabakama
n'akalulu akaddako
yagenda okukategeka
oyo bamusabire
kuba omulimu gwe munene
kati ssaako eri bweti
eyaki Saabazonto
ey'akalulu kano
gituwe tugibasome
sente ezitegeka akalulu
ziba wa Mutebire
ne baziwa Byabakama
n'ategeka akalulu
muhoozi ne Sabiti
ne bakakuuma
kati nga tumwine waali
alinze Byabakama alangirire
awe gwe balangiridde obukuumi
wadde Nice Sacco
tuli mu kusomesa baana
bayige okusabira abakulembeze
abaana mubagambe
nti akulira URA
ekitongole ky'emisolo
ye mwami Musinguzi
sente yazikuŋŋaanya
ne zigenda ewa Mutebire
kale bamusabire
akuŋŋaanye eziwera
akulira eby'enguudo
ye Allen Kagina
n'akulira NSSF
ye Richard Byalugaba Saabazonto
leero tusazeewo
tukole bwe tutyo
engeri abaana gye batasoma
tubasomeseemu
bayige ku bantu abamu
abatambulirako eggwanga lino
tetulina makulu malala
temutuwanda bigambo
twagadde kwebaza
bakulu abo betumenye
okusaba abaana
batandike okusabira abakulembeze
Uganda eno nnene
erina regions ez'enjawulo
waliwo North
eyo ye Bwayopiyo
waliwo Central
erimu Babukenya
waliwo East
erimu Bayisa Abirye
waliwo West
erimu Bamugisha
abaana mubagambe
nti akalulu abo
bava mu bitundu by'eggwanga eby'enjawulo
era basalawo kinene Saabazonto
ebyo bye byaleero
leero kubadde musomo
abo tubaleese leero
kuba akalulu katuuse
Byabakama agenda kutegeka
nga Mutebire amuwadde ssente
Sabiti
ne muhozi bakakuume
nga tumwine yeetegereza
byabaka malangirire
nti Museveni awangudde oba awanguddwa.
bw'aba awanguddwa
tumwine amugambe vaako
singa agaanirako
by'abasajja amusibe.
tolaba nti bisaana kusabira
kituufu nnyo ekyo
ffe tuli bizzonto
era tutegeera.
tudde ewaffe
tusomese abaana baffe
basabirwe abakulembeze
namwe mukole mutyo.
kale mubeere bulungi
mweraba.
kanonda akagoma kange
londa akagoma Saabazo.
gwe toyita ku video yange eno afande ogambye nti toyagala tribalism mu ggwanga lyaffe Uganda, naye njagala kugamba nga tonaba kuvunaana abantu aba bulijjo. Genda obuulire Museveni wo mukama wo Museveni yalese tribalism mu ggwanga lyaffe Uganda. Afande ojja bendera ku mukono ng'ogamba nti fena tuli bannayuganda n'otulaga bendera fena tuli bannayuganda. Bwebanga fena tuli bannayuganda ddala abaganda mugoba baaki? Abaganda mutulugunya baaki? Abaganda mutemura baaki? Abaganda teri muganda kyali ku ttaka lye, bonna mubakuba amayumba gaabwe mugamenye. Abaganda bali mu makomera kiki? N'ogamba ko nadda mukulira muntu ng'ayogera ku tribalism ngo abanyankole n'abaganda tuli ekintu kimu. Kati bwe muba mumanyi nti fena tuli ekintu kimu, lwaki abaganda mubatulugunya? Abaganda batulugunyizibwa mwamaje mwabatemura bannayuganda. Yes, nkyogedde. Bw'ogenda mu state yonna ejjudde Abanyarwanda, bw'ogenda ku internal affairs ejjudde Abanyarwanda, bw'ogenda ku airport yonna ejjudde Abanyarwanda, police yonna ejjudde Abanyarwanda. Nyagala ombuulire muganda ki mu Uganda ng'alina ekifo kya waggulu? Abaganda basomye tebalina mirimu. Mugamba nti fena tuli muntu omu, naye abaraaro ffe abanyankole batusosora. Abanyankole batuyita abiiru, batuyita ebisesemye, batuyita olukororo, batuyita ki? Nze wenyogerera sisuubira nti bwengenda muuka y'omulaalo nyinza kunywera ku kikopo kyanywesa. Lwaki? Ate nga nze omunyankole origino. Abiiru ffe be muyita abiiru ffe abanyankole origino. Lwaki mutusosora ate ne mugamba temwagala tribalism nga mwaba muleeta? Gwe afande genda ogambe Museveni kubanga ffe tukoye kati webituuse ffe abiiru n'abaganda twagala kukwatagana okutuuka we munaava mu nsi yaffe ne muddayo ewammwe Rwanda. Nze kambabuulire muddeyo ewammwe Rwanda kubanga kavuyo ke mulese mu ggwanga lyaffe kamara. Enough is enough. Abaganda tebalina mirimu, amasomero mugocheza, amalwaliro temuli ddagala. Kati mpozi chance eriwo waffe mwankole okugamba nti ffe temunatandika kutugobayo mu mataka. Naye abaganda tebakyalina amataka, abaganda bafiiriddwa abaana, abaganda bafudde. Lwaki mubatemura? Baza gwaki? Bastard of yesterday.
Abamu ku basirikale beemulugunya nti balwawo kubasasula, nsonga abalala bagamba nti babasasula bamaze kuwulira nti bagenda kusisinkana muduumizi wa poliisi mu ggwanga.
I missed salary from 213 up to 215. In 215 when I was taken to Butiama. Then after those people of salary reception, after them hearing that the IGP is coming to Butiama to listen for our problem, they rushed to pay us who are complaining about the issue of salary.
But when a person is very sick, and he's supposed, he follows the procedure of accessing help from police to get medical help, treatment. It is just a dream.
Abamu ku bano bagamba nti sako ya poliisi esala omusaala gwabwe kyokka bwe bagenda okubuuza ku bikwata ku ssente zaabwe zino tebabafaako ekiviiriddeko abasirikale abamu okubulwa ssente zaabwe. Bino babyogedde baadde basisinkanya amyuka omukwanaganya wa poliisi n'omuntu wa bulijjo mu ggwanga Anatoli Muleterwa nga wano we basabidde okubakolera ku bintu eby'enjawulo ng'okuzimba amasomero ga secondary gayambeko abasirikale okuweerera abaana baabwe.
In case you went to the barracks, you can meet children between 15 and 25 years after languishing in the barracks. They are not there that maybe they can do something, but it's because their parents can't raise school fees.
As a member of SACCO, we are supposed to benefit from insurance health scheme. So we don't know the procedure and the criteria being used. Is it according to the ranks?
If after joining you feel you are not being served properly, there is a procedure for exiting.
Another concern is about power. Last time they released Zambia barracks. First quarter was released. Second quarter was released. Where do we belong? other people at the flats can access Yaka. If police is failing, they better be open and tell us. If somebody can afford a mask on purposes for ironing, it will be better.
There is a tendency where you find in salary, a junior person is getting more salary than a senior officer.
Waliwo omusirikale asisizza banne bw'ategeeza muleeterwa nti akoledde poliisi emyaka egisoba mu 3 kyokka tebamuwanga n'ejjinja n'erimu.
I have committed myself a fund. I have worked diligently, but I have stagnated on the same rank. I don't know what is happening. Whom can I call? Whom can I approach so that I can be promoted?
These men are complaining that whenever there is any function, be it a police function or whatever, where feeding is involved, most of them come back empty stomachs.
Also, what is the criteria? We always see on TV during occasions of independence, Labor Day, some people are awarded medals. What special things have those people done so that they are awarded medals and others are left behind?
At times you hear that people are in Rwanda for some seminars, some retreat.
Most of the time I hear police is the tool of duty. You find someone who has overstayed in FFU for 25 years. Like of recent when we were in Chigo, we had all divorcees.
Muleeterwa abasuubiza nga bagenda okwogera na buli gwe kikwatako okulaba ng'ensonga zaabwe zikolebwako.
Making you understand that our existence is not on monetary services. We are to serve above self through the philosophy of prevention.
Sulaiman Mutebi yakusakidde eggulire lino ku Rabukedde TV1.
Uganda with a better generation. Uganda buli omu gye yeeyagaliramu. N'ekirala ngenda sooka bagamba nti singa abadde Muganda nga yazze ku live eno mwandigambye abo banirira byabwe ndi mukyala Munyankole amannya geeyogerera Kyakunzire Daphne nzaaliddwa Ibanda nkulidde Kampala naye nga tekinfuula Muganda. Okulira Kampala n'okulira mu Buganda tekinfuula Muganda. Whatever is going on in the country right now is a serious issue. Very serious. Nti bwe tutabaako kye tukola, it is going to become very dangerous. Very, very dangerous. Mchose ne baga nti singa abadde Muganda nga yatudde mu ntebe gye ndimu eno mwandigambye nti abo balwanirira byabwe balwanirira baganda bannaabwe ndi mukyala Munyankole kandi nindumanya nindugamba noho nkuzire noho nzaalirwe owitu n'Ibanda ninyenderizo oba buli ali live egi osheyaringe ehike aheyi nekuza ebyo bintu nitubireba nk'ebyokuzaana konka kushakubiri hike hari nituza kurebe kiratuhikeho ebi byona nitubireba nk'ebitine magezi nitubireba nk'ebyokujaana abana Uganda nibaza kunyiga nibaza kwekyawa betamwe biheyo emhino nefuka batandike kwetema. Nsegayiriranga ko muntu yena kusharinga live yange never nayo nako olwaleero njagala nkwegayiridde oba oyagala nfukamire ngenda kufukamira sharinga live eno. What is going on in the country is not something we cannot just look at and pretend we are not seeing. Nebo batoli mu politics. Kibuyaga bwebe etwala n'ebyetaleeta. Oyinza okuddeyo ogambe it's none of my business. But when the wind starts to blow, even your rooftop will not remain. Oli bw'avaayo n'agamba nti tupinpointinze ebintu bye tuwulira nga tukooye ng'Abannayuganda. One core value of a journalist is to speak for the public. Journalist kamwa k'abantu bangi. Journalist bw'avaayo n'asonga ku kintu si ye yekka gwe kiba kikutteko. Okukwata kw'abasajja mivule mukyakulaba ng'okusaaga. okukwata kwa bizonto muchakulaba ng'okusaaga okukwata kwa chiwewa muchakulaba ng'okusaaga. But when the wind starts to blow, when Ugandans get angry and pull out their hangers and hose, even you who is in your roof seated down, you're not going to remain the same. Chigenda kukutwaliramu. This message mbasaba mukisharinge kubanja galetuke ku the right audience. Abantu abali mu buyinza simanyanya abawa amagezi naye mutusaddase. You have sacrificed us. Tuli bana Uganda ekyenzaalwa kyandibadde si kikulu. Twandibadde tukulembeza obunna Uganda n'obumu. Abasajja abaganda batuwasizza. Abasajja abaganda tubazaalidde. This is not how you should be reacting to some of these things. Abantu bano bwe bavaayo ne baga nti bannange ebifo ebisava tubibaganye. You don't have to arrest them. Oli bw'avaayo n'ayimba oluyimba. It is so funny ebintu bino biri coincidence essaawa zino abaana bonna be bakwata baganda. Basajja mivule muganda. Bizonto biganda. Chiwewa muganda. These things are so happening by coincidence. Nti abasajja bano bagenda kunyiiga mbagambye kibuyaga bwebe etwala ne byetaleeta. Ate nga bano abantu abali waggulu be babiteekawo. We as the civilians, we as the Ugandans, we don't have this in us. Tuli kimu. Bano abasajja tubazaalidde tubawasizaamu tubafumbiddwa. Abasajja bano ekintu kye mukola mukiraba ng'ekyokusaaga. Naye bwe mutakihandling with maturity. If you don't handle this issue with maturity, ekyatuuka e Rwanda kiyinza okuba nga kiri ku boda essaawa zino kikonkona kiyingira Uganda. It could be on its way. Kubanga bano abantu banna Uganda. Oli bw'avaayo nakugamba nti ebifo bino mubigabanyemu equally. Don't arrest them. Mwenga cabinet mutuule wansi mulabe ensonga y'abano abantu. Communication yaabwe eri ki? Oli bw'avaayo nakola composition. Nga mazima amatuufu kale bandi basibidde nga si mazima bituufu. If they ask you, ani akulembera eggwanga muki? Ani akulembera SFC muki? Ani akulembera ISO muki? Ani akulembera ebyenjigiriza muki? What would you answer if those questions are directed to you? Why do you want to make people telling the truth look like liars? Atenga mwe muli mu nsobi. Ekintu kino sikyogerako because I am a Munyankole. I speak because I am a Ugandan. Ate gye tulaga kigenda kututwalira mu ffenna. Bannaalumanya ne bessaalumanya. Ekyatuuka e Rwanda kiyinza okuba nga kiri ku border. These things byonna bazze babigamba inciting violence. Tewali inciting violence esinga ku kye mukola essaawa zino. Bw'okwata kiweewa n'omuggaliro olw'okuba yayimba Nantaba. You have already incited violence. Okumyemu omuliro mu bantu. Bw'okwata abasajja mivulo olw'okuba avuddeyo n'abuusa abantu ebigenda mu ggwanga. You have already incited violence mu bantu. Bano abantu be mukwata si be bali mu ku inciting violence. You are the people inciting violence. The only problem is naffe bannasaalumanya ne ddaalumanya tugenda kulugwamu. We are all going to be taken in that category. Mbagambye nze sitera kwegayirira muntu kusharinga video yange. Naye olwaleero nyamba. Ate sifuddeeyo oba ngobeeredde kiweewa oba ngobeeredde basajja mivule naye nga gano ge mazima. Our top officials ge mazima. Ebintu bye musalawo essaawa zino bigenda kutulumya ffe. Ebintu bye musalawo abantu 5 bigenda kulumya eggwanga lyonna. Ndi mukyala Munyankole siri Muganda. Nzaaliddwa Ibanda si kumpi nnyo wala nnyo. Singa mbadde Muganda mwandigambye batandise. Ndi Omunyankole konka ebintu ebimuryo nimukora nibiza kututwariramu twena abatine mushango n'abine omushango abengi omurimwe mushwirine abakazi banyu n'abanyankore abantu abamukozesa mu office zanyu n'abanyankore konka itwa bamwe turi abanyayuganda we don't look on abunyankore tukureba ngo turi abanyankore turi abanyayuganda abaganda batushwire batuziremwe abana nitwereba nk'omuntu omwe konka ebimuryo nimusharaho nibiza kutuchondoza twena mistakes zanyu niziza kusashuritwe abatine mushango abatine kitukumanya situkarebagana Museveni situkikagana mu State House abazire bitu tubakakwatagana mundu konka ebimuryo nimusaraho nibiza kututwariramu twena ihanga n'ery'abanyayuganda waba ori omunyankore waba ori omuganda waba ori omusoga ihanga n'ery'abanyayuganda twayenda tugire ngu ihanga n'ery'abanyankore nibaza kututema nibaza kutushara kandi nimwe murabirete haze kiri kutushasha ngu imwe ababireta nimuza kuba muri protected. The people that are causing this are going to be protected. We are the people that are going to be affected. Segayiriranga ko muntu yenna kusharinga video yange na yolu nako lwalero nkwegayiridde sharinga video eno ngenda kozesa ennimi zonna zensinga okumanya Lunyankore, Rukiga, Rutoro, Ruzungu, Luganda. Message etuuke gye yina okugenda. Uganda ne y'abannayuganda teri y'abanyakitala. Abantu aba bargayo bakore keki bari kwenda bakore ko obushashi bwabo hona shumazima obushasi obutamba n'obushashi. Pain cannot be stopped with pain. Obushasi toka butamba n'obushashi. Omuntu yakugira ati ninshashaha jeza horebe numubazi ki ogwakwenda konka ko kumusiba noba wamwongera obushashi. When you arrest these people because they have spoken out their mind, because they've spoken out what they feel the better Uganda should be, you have not solved their problem. You have added salt in a wound. Ebintu bino tukyabiraba ng'ebyokusaaga, but it's not a joke. Gwoyinza okuba oli eyo oli mu nju yogamba anze ebyo tebinkwatako by'abanabufuzi. When the wind starts to blow, it will not spare your rooftop because you kept quiet. It is because of your silence that even the wind will blow more. Fenga abannansi ekiriwo tetukkiriziganya nakyo. A few cartoon of people, a few group of people sit on the top because they are the head of the state and make their own decisions. But those decisions are going to be punished by everybody. Those decisions made by a few top officials are going to be affected by every Ugandan. This is my communication. Siri Muganda. I am not one. But one thing I know is I'm a Ugandan. Sikulembeza cha kuba munyankole. It's not an issue here. What is an issue here is a Ugandan. Oboli Musoga, Oboli Mugisu, Oboli Wawa. We are supposed to be one as Ugandans. Mwabanyankole abanyakitala abadyeyo nga musemba ebintu bino ebiri mu happeninga mu ggwanga. Abasajja bajja kunyiiga. Bagenda kujjayo amajambiya. Bagenda kujjayo buli kimu. Bagenda kutandika kwesala. You are watching. We should stop this while it is at an early stage. Bw'oba ng'olina obusobozi obutuuka ku mukulembeze, ng'olina obusobozi obuwabula abantu abo abali mu security, ensonga zino bazikwate n'amagezi nnyo. Abannayuganda bali ku point we batuuse nti beekyaye. Beekyaye, that is the fact. Omuntu watuukira okwekuumako omuliro aba yeekyaye. Sayini zonna eziraga abannayuganda nti beekyaye muziraba. Engeri gy'okubatiyagasi mu baana ne bakulaga nti bakyasonga. Dala, don't you see Uganda bechaye? They are ready for anything if you don't change. Abana barihire. Kandi bari ready kukore chintu chona. Imwe numujirangu nibachitina tiya gas no. Numushiba nibatera mtiya gas. Konkaba songa busonzi. Muze mubiraba wano. Ngabana baba kuba mtiya gas nebasigala nga beyongerayo. Abana nemba kuba chiboko nebasigala nga beyongerayo. They are tired and ready for change. Abana bano tebasaanibwa kubanga obulumi bwabwe buddibwamu na bulumi. Obushasi tubukubasa kwihaho obushasi. One thing you have to do is act and lead the country maturely. Siberangako wano nembaga abanaye embega iridde musharinge live yange. I have never naye kijja bwe twakikwata na maanyi nze mbabulira mazima ga Katonda obusajja bwekyaye. I'm telling you the truth. Ugandans are tired. Omuntu watukiro gamba nti tiyagasa ali awo nakugamba nze ngenda. They know what they want. Omuntu watukiro ganti kangende ku polisi nekumeko omuliro. They know what they want. Abantu abali omubuyinza egi message neyanyu. Itwe twine mushango, we don't have any problem. But when the wind starts to blow, you know what hurts me most is we have been engaged, we have made friends who are from different tribes, we have made a family from these other people because we believe we are one Uganda. But a few people sit on the panel and they make us look like we are not one Uganda. They make us look like Omnyankole wanjawulo ku Muganda. They make us look like Omsoga wanjawulo ku Munyankole. We are not different. We are the same. Feche chimu. Nkwegayiridde gwe wenatuuka wano sharinga video eno. Wetutuse kati we don't fear. I don't have any fear in someone coming for me. Okutwala mukomera. I've never been in prison. But this moment I don't fear because I'm speaking the truth. Omuyaga bwe gunajja gugenda kutwala n'amayumba gaffe abatabiriimu. Nze situlangako ku cabinet yonna. I've never, but when the repercussions come, naffe basaalumanya tugenda lugwamu. Because the country is going to start looking at us like we have made our own country in a country. People are going to start looking at us like we've made an empire in a country. Omuntu bw'avaayo n'akugamba nange kino kyo tukikooye. Tutandika okutunuulira ebintu ng'Abannayuganda so singa kabiremu. What is the right response as a good leader, as an exemplary leader, as a leader who cares for the people of the country, not for a certain tribe? What do? You go down into the details. Bwebagamba nti gundi bamwagalanga naye mixed mukyuse. Let the people have the kind of leadership they want. Be a servant to the public. Oli bw'avaayo kati abaana baavuddeyo ne batandika n'okumimiikinga. Ne bagamba kale fine, bizonto byabadde bikyamu. President w'eggwanga Musoga, akulira SFC Musoga, akulira ISO Musoga. That's how far we have reached. That's how bad the country is doing. That's how bad the country is doing. Live yange eno mbegayiridde mugisharinge kuba njagala etuuke weeyina okutuuka. Nzize wano netandika ne bagamba nti nze ndi mukyala Munyankole. Awedde emirimu 211. Siyinaako kaga nti taata Muganda mama Munyankole. No. 211. Kino live gye nkoze tekitegeeza nti saagala Bunyankole bwange. Wabula kitegeeza nti I would rather prioritize my country over my tribe. Eggwanga lyaffe tulyetaaga tulyeki. Decisions zizonna ezikolebwa right now at the top officials fa abagendo zisasulira. Abaana bange nyinza obutazisasulira naye abaana bange ne bazisasulira. Gwe aliye yagamba nti lwaki ovuddeyo okwogera. There are people who come there ono Munyankole lwaki tawagira banne. No, you are just being short-sighted. You don't think and reason beyond your nose. Enyindo yange mpanvu naye ate nsobola okutunula wala n'endaba nti kino ekintu we tutakikwate n'amaanyi mu budde obujja mu maaso awo kiyinza okukazaala. Naawe Omunyankole ali eyo gwagamba nti byo tebitukwatako, bino ebintu tebitukwatako, naye kibuyaga bweba etwala n'ebyetaleeta. Ojja ddugenderamu. Bw'oba tolugendeddemu abazzukulu bo bayinza oddugenderamu. Bw'oba tebalugendeddemu abaana bo be bayinza olugenderamu. The decisions made by the top officials are going to affect us all. Fenna. Saagala mutandike nti nze bye tebinkwatako siri munnabyabufuzi, tebinkwatako siri muki, bikukwatako kuba oli Munnayuganda. When the people decide to go angry because you have refused to listen to them peacefully, it will affect you too. Ate ekisinga okutuluma mutumanye nti abakola decision zino, they are going to be protected. When anything comes out right now, mujazira bange ennyonyi zibuuka bafulumya abaana baabwe, n'olw'ensonga eyo tulina okubatabukira kati. They must stop this nonsense. Because when trouble comes, they are gonna rescue themselves. They are gonna protect their children. They are gonna protect their families. Basalumanya fa bajoddugwamu. Basalumanya fa bagenda okulugwamu. When you shut up now, be ready to suffer the consequences. If you shut up now, be ready to suffer the consequences. Because whatever is happening right now has a serious repercussion. Abaana bemulaba bano tebakyatya na tear gas. They don't. They are determined to liberate their country. They are determined. Kati gwalye yaga nti katusirike bakole kye baagala. When time comes to pay for these actions, their families will be the first people to be secured. Ebibi byabwe fa bagenda bisasulira. That is what hurts me most. They are never gonna be there to face their mistakes. They are not going to pay for their wrong decisions. It is us, Basalumanya, that are gonna pay for this. Buli ekibawo right now go aliye yaga nti tebinkwatako fa bajja okubisasulira. We are the people that are gonna pay for this. If we don't speak up, if we don't stop this at an early stage, whatever is coming, we're gonna be the people to pay for this. Iwe wena kureba ebyo kugira ngo tubikukwataho nibikukwataho. Abo kuba olyo mu Uganda, olyo Munnayuganda, kandi buli kimwe kirakeho omu Uganda niwe oratushashura. You will pay for it. Tutitira nogaba naye etiquette banandaba batya nga njogera ku bino ebintu. But time comes when you feel like, nah, you're full. You feel like busting. Tugenda kusirika paka wa. Why don't you for once do the right thing? Why don't you for once correct a mistake with the right decision? Why do you have to add salt in a wound to the people that are already tired? Rachobobongeramu omunyo. Ebintu bino byonna ebihappening Abannayuganda balaba. They are watching. And my point today is we, the people that are not even having a hand in this, are the people that are going to pay for it. Bine ebintu wonova inogamba nze politics tankwatako, I'm gonna shut that in a house. I have a job. You've been given a job. You're working. You're being paid. I want you to know that the suffering Ugandans are bigger than the okay. The majority of the Ugandans are not okay. You're just a small group of the minorities. You're just a small group of the minorities. Yesonga lwaki musindika abasirikale ne bajjuza bwayise naye abantu ne babanga bangi okusinga abasirikale. Ne muba tubatiya gasi nga tebasobola na kuvaawo paka ne batuusa omukulembeze waabwe magere. Why can't you be wise enough ne musome embeera zino? Read. ente bw'ogitwala ku ttale n'egaana okunywa amazzi.
Twagala omukulembeze gwango tubuulire nti ffe abaana abaffe Abaganda, abaffe Abasoga, abaffe Abagisu, abaffe Abateeso, abaffe Ababigwa, abaffe Abakyoli, bo ebibuzo babbanga bibbe abeewammwe be baabiyitanga be balina okubeera mu buli kifo. Kakati mu kkooti gye wandidukidde abaliyo nabo beewaabwe. Tuvuganye n'omusajja nga ssente azijja mu Bank of Uganda n'aziteeka mu kalulu n'aziteeka byayagala. Akulira Bank of Uganda nayo weewaabwe. Mutebire weewaabwe okiraba kati olwo kyayita obusosoze ategeeza ki mutawagira busosoze kakati abanakugulako emisango DPP okiraba omuwabi wa gavumenti naye weewaabwe okiraba kakati awolereza gavumenti otegera atone jeno naye weewaabwe weewaabwe kugamba weewaabwe afuse weewaabwe noloko limba abantu
kubanga buli munyankola ali mu Uganda alowooza nti bali bwe baawangula gavumenti yafunira kubo. Shut up. Eri amawanga malala 5 mwaga nago agaagala kyoyagala. Baali wano Abakyoli n'Abalango nga balowooza buli kintu kyabwe ng'eriyo abalala bakyagala si mwe musoose kwogata ne buno obuwangwa obuvudde Congo ffenna abavudde ebbali eyo wano twagala ku keeke yemu kwe tulya kyova olaba nga bw'oteekawo keeke emmese erumako ne munyera n'alyako n'ebiyenje mbita byakusaaga kati we tuli mwe abaana ba Katonda muleke kutunulira Bayibuli bweti ne mugisoma nga abali engulu eri ku misalaba. Musome Bayibuli nga mulabamu amagezi. The assumption ono ye dadi wange nze mberiberi yewe nze waswa tukutegeeza eriyo bakato abalina amatu n'amaaso agalabe emabega n'eri.
On several occasions, no presidential candidate Robert Kyagulanyi has accused the security forces of frustrating his presidential campaigns. Thursday night was no different after the no presidential candidate was forced to spend the night by the roadside in Nakasongola.
What you're doing is immoral. You turn me away from a hotel.
Ordinarily, after a long day of traversing different areas looking for votes, a presidential candidate is expected to be resting at this time to regain his energy for the next busy day. But it's now 3:30 a.m. and one of the presidential candidates, Robert Kyagulanyi, as his colleagues are resting, is resting right in his car here. According to reports, he was barred from accessing any decent accommodation in Hoima district and also here in Mijera. In the morning, Kyagulanyi was set for campaign stopovers in Kyankwanzi, Kiboga and Kasanda districts. This was Kyagulanyi's first rally in Buganda region.
This is my team. I am briefing them so that we can leave Madam Namara. Stop treating me like I'm a foreigner. Be an officer of the law. You blocked me from the hotel. Listen to me, Madam. Be disciplined too also. Don't be an indisciplined officer. Okay? I slept in the car. This is my team. I want to talk to them so that we get the hell out of here.
The hotel was not enough. Honorable Kyagulanyi moved with a group of 180. Jaila Hotel has only 10 rooms. So when the manager opened the hotel, it was not enough for them. And Honorable Kyagulanyi said he cannot sleep without his people sleeping. They ended up sleeping. Otherwise, those allegations where they took photos sleeping on the floor, it is a total lie.
Bikoma village in Kyankwanzi district was his first stop. This is the birthplace of Kyagulanyi's wife, Barbara Itungo.
Naye agenda agamba abantu nti faba NUP tusosola mawanga. Kamba buze first lady Muganda.
Nsonyiwe njogedde ne president yandiyogedde naye kinnuma gavumenti yaffe okubanga tefa ku bakyala n'ekirala bannange baganda bange abali eno mutemerera abantu kubabeeshya bakazababwira ngo NUP ni muyitoora baraza kubirukana ntabwo muri busigaraha barababeeshya.
In Chiboga Trading Center, supporters were in an ecstatic mode.
Era nabadde ne ku TV nendaba nakyegwanyiza omu ng'ali ku TV ng'agezaako okwawulawalulayo abantu mu mawanga ng'agamba mmwe Bobi Wine temwagala Banyarwanda, temwagala Banyankole, n'entunuulira omusajja ne ŋŋamba labayo nno.
The security forces restrained the crowds without using any tear gas or bullets. Kyagulanyi wrapped up his campaign in Kasanda district. Ali Mivule, NTV.
Which is also the closing episode for 2018. As we brace for the new year, there is a new sheriff in town, the anti-corruption unit, one likely to shake up the powerful and the would-be in 2019. Already, there is an elephant in the room, Sam Kutesa. But first, let's see how he arrived at the unwanted visit to the debrief. In 1995, Sam Kutesa allegedly undervalued and has shares later sold to himself and the president's brother, Salim Salih. In that specific case, Parliament censured Kutesa, but no action was taken by the executive. In 1997, Sam Kutesa was named by a parliamentary committee for soliciting a bribe between $2 to $6 million. Now, with the bribe over the sale of Sheraton Hotel, the IGG and a committee of parliament investigated Sam Kutesa, and his co-accused were prosecuted but later acquitted by the anti-corruption court. Action taken, zero. In 1998, a parliamentary committee concluded it had been manipulated and taken advantage of by Sam Kutesa and a few politically powerful people. Action taken, zero. In 2000, Sam Kutesa was mentioned in a deal to procure technology intelligent network monitoring stroke verification system, INMS. Now, Kutesa was named in a deal where the Ugandan government lost about $1 million to supply ballots. Now, Lithotech company with links to Sam Kutesa gets another contract to supply ballots for the local government. Action taken, zero. In 2005, Sam Kutesa was named in the privatization of Uganda Dairy Corporation Limited, UDCL, a deal Rwamirama described as outright robbery. Now, in this specific deal, Smartmatic Inc. connected to Kutesa. However, the PPDA disqualified the company because it did not pass the commercial criteria. Sam Kutesa, however, bypassed the PPDA and got the deal. Action taken, zero. In 2009, Sam Kutesa was mentioned in an election deal worth $15 million to update the voters register. Now, Sam Kutesa, in this specific case, action taken to him, zero. Now, in 2011, Sam Kutesa and two others, that is the government chief whip then, John Nasasira, and the Minister of State for Labour, Mwesigwa Rukutana, over procurements for 2007 Commonwealth Heads of State and Government meeting, CHOGM. In this specific case of the CHOGM scandal, action taken, zero, because Sam Kutesa and his co-accused were prosecuted but later acquitted by the anti-corruption court. In 2012, Sam Kutesa was cited in the construction of Karuma and Isimba power dams. Now, Kutesa, through his son-in-law, that is Albert Muganga, were cited in a scandal to secure a deal for the construction of standard gauge railway for CCECC. Now, in 2014, accused of corruption in a battle over his candidature for the UN General Assembly presidency. Over 9,000 people signed an online petition urging the United States to block his candidature. However, Kutesa was elected to the seat. Now, action taken, zero. The latest one is the case on the 5th of December this year. The Southern District of New York Court in the United States convicted Hong Kong's former Home Affairs Secretary Patrick Shiping Ho, 69 years old, for allegedly offering bribe payments of 1.9 billion shillings each to Sam Kutesa and President Yoweri Museveni in 2016. Now, the outcome was that Kutesa was not charged or called to testify because the FCPA and the American money laundering law snares only US-based persons making payments to foreign officials to assist in obtaining or retaining business. So Kutesa is not a representative of a US-based company accused of violating FCPA, and he did not make the payment. So the other day in Parliament, the Attorney General, William Byarhanga, cleared Sam Kutesa of any wrongdoing.
He was or is not an accused or a suspect in any criminal matter that is currently ongoing.
Ladies and gentlemen, malice or sheer sour grape. Ladies and gentlemen, let's discuss.
Tribalistic kujaka Abaganda.
Abaganda si basosoze.
Not at all.
Really?
Yes. Ate twali kuliddemu. Wali kuzotya.
Nga toli Muganda.
Bakukuza, bakuliisa, bakusomesa, bakukola ki. Tulina problem naawe. Obaga tuma n'amanya gaabwe yingira n'ebika byabwe wasana abaana baabwe. They have no. Not at all. At least that's when I can testify. Nduddemu ekimala.
Yes.
My 50 years nje badde wano muki?
Mu Buganda.
Mu Buganda. Beboka abatalina.
Abatali tribalistic.
No siri tribalistic. Abo agala kwani bazigenda yorabe. Awulide West tribalistic. Babikako bubisi.
Ninga baba bakirina.
Bakirina. Eteeka balireeta bo bennyini lyabalema okuteeka mu nkola. Abantu bawono bali tribalistic kujaka Abaganda.
Abaganda si basosoze.
Not at all.
Really?
Yes. Ate twali kuliddemu. Wali kuzotya.
Nga toli Muganda.
Bakukuza, bakuliisa, bakusomesa, bakukola ki. Tulina problem naawe. Obaga tuma n'amanya gaabwe yingira n'ebika byabwe wasana abaana baabwe. They have no. Not at all. At least that's when I can testify. Nduddemu ekimala.
Yes.
My 50 years nje badde wano muki?
Mu Buganda.
Mu Buganda. Beboka abatalina.
Abatali tribalistic.
No siri tribalistic. Abo agala kwani bazigenda yorabe. Awulide West tribalistic. Babikako bubisi.
Ninga baba bakirina.
Bakirina. Eteeka balireeta bo bennyini lyabalema okuteeka mu nkola.
And we continue to preach non-violence. I am not a criminal. I am a presidential candidate.
Nothing will stop him.
We must get our freedom or we shall die trying.
We are fighting for freedom. We are fighting for freedom. To President Museveni, on behalf of the people of Uganda, I am challenging you to a free and fair election.
This is a message to the government.
I met Bobby at university. I didn't know he was a musician. He was different.
I didn't have so many dreams. She impacted my life. She made me realize we had to impact other lives. I've come to Parliament and taken an oath to protect the Constitution of Uganda. Somebody had to speak for us. People thought I had the loudest voice.
Again, one more confident time.
This year's presidential election could see 71-year-old President Museveni serve a fifth term in office.
No leader has ever handed over power peacefully. This is a military regime dressed in a civil facade.
We have the Honorable Bobby Wine with us.
As a matter of fact, now I'm doing
Why is my husband held in a military barracks? If I could see him, then I would know what I am actually dealing with.
Our Bobby should be released.
rather represent the resilience of Ugandans. We stand for equality and dignity for everybody. We are non-violent, and we continue to preach non-violence.
I am not a criminal. I am a presidential candidate.
Nothing will stop him.
We must get our freedom or we shall die trying.
We are fighting for freedom. We are fighting for freedom.